So what is going on in the Premier League transfer window? Hello and welcome to the Penno channel. If you're new around here, please subscribe and also like the video before we start because there's a lot to get into with the transfer window so far. So what is going on? Well, Villa, Chelsea, Everton, and it looks like potentially Newcastle and Forest are looking to do deals with each other before the deadline for PSR regulations on the 30th of June. So what is PSR? Profit and sustainability rules. All clubs have to abide by those. And the club, as mentioned, potentially have to make up a certain amount of money before the deadline closes, which is on the 30th of June. So it looks like there's a lot of deals going on right now. And let's get into them. And the first one that we're going to talk about is the deals that Aston Villa have been doing. Maatsen will be coming in from Chelsea for £37.5 million. That's been talked about for about a week now. Looks like that's all done and dusted. Maatsen's with the Dutch top squad currently. He's had talks with Unai Emery. They're all happy to complete the deal. And in return, it looks like in a separate deal to this, Chelsea will be signing Omari Kellyman from Aston Villa. Now, Omari Kellyman is a fantastic prospect, 18. He was in the Villa squad last season at the age of 17, was part of the pre-season, was starting in the pre-season, played against Hibernian in the Europa Conference League qualifiers. And he got injured towards the start of the season. He would have been part of the squad, and that injury kind of pushed him back a few months. And then he never really got back to his full fitness. But towards the end of the season, he was back in the squad and in the first team squad. Aston Villa, he was the shining light of the academy. Villa brought him from Derby a few seasons ago when they were under Wayne Rooney. An exceptional talent. He was playing youth football for Northern Ireland, eventually crossed over to England. He was playing in the England under-19s and under-20s, would have soon been in the under-21s. So an absolutely fantastic talent and player. And one of those which I'm kind of sad as a Villa fan to see leaving because he looks like he has all the tools to become a great player in the future, but needs must currently in the situation that Aston Villa finds themselves in. And Chelsea were looking to get a player from Villa. Obviously, it's been spoken about a lot that it would be John Duran. Chelsea could still look for John Duran, but they're still looking at other potential strikers. They're looking for the guy from Atletico Madrid. There's also talk now Jonathan David from Lille. So Chelsea are after a striker, and John Duran is one of those. But before this deadline's met, it looks like Omari Kellyman is the player that Chelsea will be going for. Now, this has caused a massive kerfuffle and like an absolute madness in the football world because it seems like Omari Kellyman is now the beacon of light to show how much of a ridiculous PSR is. We've seen overinflated prices for talent over the years, albeit Man City, Liverpool have been culprits of that. They've sold players for values way over what you'd expect. Now, for some reason, it seems like just because this is happening now, it's a big uproar and hoo-ha. It's completely legal what's going on. The legalities are fine. It's just people are not happy with what's occurring. And it's PSR is a rule. PSR is a scenario which has benefits the top clubs. It benefits top clubs because it doesn't allow for competition with the clubs trying to get higher. You've seen it. Newcastle and Villa over the last 2 seasons have finished top 4 on merit, and now it looks like Aston Villa are having to sell one of their best players, Douglas Luiz, just to be coherent. And that's not really great, is it? A club that's qualified for Champions League football now has to sell one of their best players just to abide by some laws, when in fact these clubs are not in debt at all, in good financial stable state, and are not allowed to progress. So yeah, I don't know why there's such a uproar because these type of deals have been going on for many years now, many years. You've seen over the years Man City have sold academy players to Southampton, to Burnley for fees that potentially are higher than you'd think. Liverpool have done it. They sold a few players to Bournemouth over the years as well. Sheffield United. We know the players and we know how much they were sold for, and you might say it's high valuation, but if that's what the selling club want to sell them for, and that's what the buying club are willing to buy for, then that's it. I don't understand why there's been such a big uproar regarding this now. It's, of all times now, there's a system, it's in place. There's ways to get around it, which are legally allowed to get around it. So I don't know what the discourse is. But yeah, it looks like Omari Kellyman, a big talent, and he'll do well at Chelsea. He will. I've no doubt about it because he's such a huge talent. He's such a quality player. And he would have been part of Villa's first team squad if he hadn't got injured at the start of the season. Unai Emery really likes him, and it's one of those we'll be sad to see leaving. But the money's required, and he looks like he'll be going for a fee of 19 million to Chelsea. So yeah, Maatsen to Villa, Chelsea, Kellerman, potentially other players as well going down the line because Villa still have an interest in a few Chelsea players. Chelsea could come back in for Dobbin, so we'll see how that entails. So now then we move on to Villa and Everton now. Villa have sold Tim Iroegbunam to Everton for £9 million. Tim Iroegbunam, of the academy players that I thought would come through, obviously Carney Chukwuemeka was one who we sold him to Chelsea. Aaron Ramsey was part of that batch that we thought would come through into first team. He was sold to Burnley, and then Tim Iroegbunam as well was also part of that. Those all three were a part of Villa and represented England under 20s when they won the international tournament. So again, Tim Iroegbunam had a very good loan spell at QPR. Was part of the first team squad all of last season, but just didn't quite make the grade or make it into the side. We thought when Bogarde got injured, it was Tim's time to play for Villa and come into the side, and it just didn't quite work out. I've no doubt Tim has all the ability. He's a quality talent, but I just don't think it's at Villa right now. And yeah, Villa have sold Tim Iroegbunam to Everton now, and I think he'll flourish at Everton. I really do. He'd potentially get more opportunity there than he would have done at Villa for the current situation and state Villa are in. So yeah, all best of luck to Tim, and I think Everton, you've got a quality talent on your hands there. From Everton to Villa now, and looks like Luiz Dobbin will be coming to Villa. I've not seen too much of Luiz Dobbin myself personally, but he's an attacking winger. He'll come in to operate on the right hand side or potentially just off the striker, dependent in our shape. So yeah, we'll see how that develops and how that move. That move hasn't been complete as of yet in like Tim Iroegbunam's, but yeah, we'll see how that develops and where Unai Emery sees Luiz Dobbin fitting into the side. And then with the other clubs as well, so Everton, looks like Newcastle potentially looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which will be an interesting transfer. Obviously, Newcastle have Isak and Wilson, so we'll see what happens with that as well. And then Nottingham Forest have recently inquired about Lamar Bogarde from Aston Villa. So again, Lamar Bogarde, another young defensive talent who's been part of the Villa Academy for a number of years now. When I learned to Bristol Rovers, he was under Jerry Barton and he had an excellent loan there. Bristol Rovers fans were raving about his performances. He was quality at Bristol Rovers. He's come back now and it seems like he's surplus to requirements within the Villa squad as Villa look to, increase the quality within their squad for this Champions League campaign coming up. So yeah, Lamar Bogarde, again, wish him well. A quality talent. And again, he was always bigged up and talked about, but it just seems like the level now has gone up where Villa, some of these players won't be getting the game time that would be necessary for their age and their development as well. So if the club's interested, Villa will be looking to exercise that. And I can see Lamar Bogarde going to Nottingham Forest within this transfer window, if not another club. So yeah, there's a lot of deals going on between these 5 clubs, and there could be more before the deadline, which is 30th of June. So it's not long at all. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of discourse regarding it, and it's just I don't understand why it's when clubs like this, and this has been happening with top clubs over the years, and nothing's really been said. But now it's Villa and Everton's and clubs who aren't seen as big 6 clubs. There's now a massive discourse regarding it, and they shouldn't be allowed to do this and that. But they'll continue to do so because there's nothing. It's not against the rules at all. It's perfectly legitimate. So yeah, they'll continue to be doing this, and get used to it. So yeah, Omari Kellyman going to Chelsea. Ian Maatsen will be coming into Villa. Great signing for Villa. I've done a video previously. Great signings. What we need in left back, and potentially one of Luca Digne or Alex Moreno will be leaving this summer. There's talk of Lucas Digne having offers from Saudi and Alex Moreno wanting a return to Spain, but both enjoy being at Aston Villa. They're loving their time here now. So it'd be interesting to see if there's deals there for those 2 players. There'll be way more deals coming in. Monchi, this is how he likes to set up his squads. There's been so many deals that are going to be happening. The big one that I haven't really discussed is obviously Douglas Luiz swap deal. Juventus will be paying 50 million euros for Douglas Luiz, and in return, Aston Villa will then be paying 22 million euros for Enzo Berenacia and Samuel Illings Jr. And then, so that means Villa will have 28 million euros as well as those two players from Juventus. Now, it's going to be interesting. This is how this all works out, because right now, I don't know how the deal sits. It's going to take a number of years because obviously Villa are getting two young players for the Juventus squad in Samuel Illings Jr. and Enzo Berenacia. So we have to see how those develop in time over the seasons and see where the deal stands there, how Douglas Luiz gets on at Juventus as well, albeit I think he will do very well because he's a quality player. But it is a massive loss in terms of quality because Douglas Luiz was integral in Villa and them getting Champions League football. But on the flip side, Douglas Luiz was offered a new contract. He hasn't signed it. He has 2 years left on his deal. This is probably the peak of the value we're going to get for him. Maybe have they got him at a cheaper price? Potentially, you could say that, but we'll have to see how these two players develop. These two players develop into 40, 50 million pound players, then you'd say Villa have got the better side of the deal. And if they help to progress Villa within the league as well, then you definitely say that. So yeah, Enzo had a good loan last season in Serie A, played the full season. He's 23 years of age, Argentinian under-21 international. There's talk of Scaloni who likes him and is looking for him to feature in the Argentina squad in the upcoming months. Obviously, they're playing Copa America now, but he's not been selected. But going forward, he's noted. So all eyes will be on him from the Argentinian staff as well whilst he's playing in the Premier League. Yeah, will we integrate him straight away? Who knows? But ideally, with Bogarde Kamara injured, he's the perfect replacement for that in the way he plays. And also he has some attributes which Douglas Luiz had as well with his ball playing ability. So yeah, it'd be so interesting to see where he fits in. Samuel Innings Jr. will operate. There's a number of positions he could operate off. We could see him playing left back. We could see him playing left midfield, off the right. So cutting in with his left foot as well. Again, an England under-21 international. And there's a lot of hope with these two players. And yeah, I'm expecting them to perform. And I think they will do as well. I think they'll thrive in the Premier League. So all in all, yeah, Douglas Luiz, quality player. One of my favourite players in recent times at Villa. Full love and support for him, and I hope he does well over in Juventus as well, man. Because yeah, he's been one of the longest servers within this period since Villa got promoted, and he's just flown, excelled and got better and better as Villa have got better as well. So yeah, he goes with my best wishes for sure. Let me know your thoughts then on this video and these dealings that are going on within the Premier League. I see no problem with it. Do you see a problem with it and what's going on? It's all above board, so I don't know what the problem is regarding that. And also, let me know your thoughts on some of the other transfers that you could potentially see happening between these clubs, and who they could be looking at. Will more deals be happening with Villa, Chelsea, Villa, and other clubs as well? Yeah, let's see how this develops. But as I said, Monchi, this is how he operates, and it looks like now with the outgoing of Omari Kellyman, Douglas Luiz, Lamar, Bogarde, potentially looking that to be the case as well. Morgan Sanson's left as well, and Tim Iroegbunam. We will have covered the amount required for PSR, which was, I think it was £57 million. So we would have recouped that money, and the books are balanced. And we can automatise the amounts for the players that we have brought in, which will be Ross Barkley, Enzo Berenacia, Samuel Illings Jr., Lewis Dobbin, and Ian Maatsen as well. So it's all looking good. Busy period before the 1st of June, and I'm sure Villa will do much more business after the 30th of June deadline and the 1st of July comes around, because they're looking to improve and invest in this squad for Champions League football. If you could like the stream, that'd be much appreciated. If you're new around here, please subscribe as well. And let me know your thoughts in the comments, because it's going to be a fascinating window. But yeah, the PSR cartel are making moves, and a lot of clubs don't like it, but this is how it's going to be. So up the Villa, and thanks for watching.